Russia, or the Russian Federation, is a transcontinental country spanning Eastern Europe and Northern Asia. Vodka and beers on the streets are what most people think when Russia comes to mind. But there are many more interesting facts about Russia that might challenge the more obvious associations. Here are 14 interesting facts about Russia. Number 1. Tetris came from Russia. Although this game gained world popularity, the first edition of Tetris was invented in 1984 in the USSR by programmer and scientist Alexei Pazitnov. Number 2. The matryoshka doll has its roots in Japan. The famous Russian wooden doll matryoshka has a link to Japan. The story goes that Russian artist Sergei Malyutin, who was working on a design for a Russian wooden doll, was gifted a Japanese Daruma doll, which had other dolls hidden inside it. The first ever matryoshka, consisting of 8 dolls, was made in the 1890s by wooden doll masters Vyazdakin, who used Malyutin's drawings. Number 3. Russia's cats have jobs. Hermitage Museum is a national treasure of Russia, and cats are a treasure of the Hermitage. These guardians protect priceless works of art from rats and are valued by the whole staff. Each cat even has a personal passport with a photo and receives a regular salary. Number 4. In Russia's stray dogs can navigate the metro to survive the city's harsh winters. Moscow's dogs have had to develop street smarts. While exploring the city's beautiful metro system, you might spot one of its clever canine residents hopping on and off the trains. They have learnt to identify metro stops by the tannoy announcements, while others have befriended security guards, and like St. Petersburg's cats, they keep the rat population down. Number 5. Russia is basically a massive forest. Russian territory is huge, and the majority of it is Siberia. In other words, Russia is 60% forest. What's more interesting, half of that forest is totally inhabited by humans. Number 6. The coldest inhabited town on Earth is in Russia. The town of Oymyak in the Yakutia region, Siberia, is considered to be one of the coldest inhabited towns on Earth. Number 7. One Russian region experiences subtropical weather. It might be hard to believe, but it is true. Sochi is on the same latitude line as hotspots, such as Cannes and Nice. This city, often dubbed the Russian Riviera, has palm trees, humid summers, and mild winter temperatures. Number 8. The longest railway in the world is in Russia. The Trans-Siberian Railroad is the longest in the world. Its length is 9,289 kilometers, 5,772 miles, and crosses 8 time zones. To travel the whole railroad, you would need to spend around a week in a train. Number 9. Gerard Depardieu technically lives in Russia. Saransk's most celebrated inhabitant is Gerard Depardieu, who, having left France due to new tax laws, was granted Russian citizenship by Vladimir Putin himself in 2013. For reasons that he never revealed, he chose Saransk as his home address. He received the flat there as a gift from Russian actor Mikhail Borodachiev and has since refurbished a cinema and started a cultural foundation named after him. While Depardieu is not known for strolling down the streets of Saransk himself, you can go to see a film in the refurbished cinema. Number 10. Russia had its own mafia gang wars. The infamous Euromash gang was founded by local mafiosos in search of financial gain. They initially began controlling small business Yekaterinburg, but quickly rose to power as The dissolution of the USSR led to widespread instability. Soon, the city was gripped by violent turf wars. The Uralmash gang's arch enemies were the Central Gang. Each gang buried their deceased in separate cemeteries at different sides of the city. You can now visit the resting places of once infamous mafia members, whose gravestones are engraved with hyper-realistic images and emblazoned with their defining qualities. One was an expert in knife throwing, while another possessed deadly fist-fighting skills. Today, some shopping malls, hotels, and juice bars are still owned by former gang members. Number 11. The bloodiest siege in history was fought in Russia. During the Second World War, while St. Petersburg was still known as Leningrad, German forces surrounded the city, cutting off entry and exit points. Hitler had planned to hold a celebratory banquet at the Astoria Hotel once he conquered the city. Despite the odds, he never succeeded. People were starving and surviving freezing temperatures, without access to water or electricity. For almost 900 days, millions of civilians died, but they were determined to protect their city until the end. Local radio stations played the sound of a ticking metronome, so that locals knew that their city's heart was still beating. Beneath the monument to the heroic defenders of Leningrad, you can still hear the city's beating heart. Number 12. The biggest fortress in the world is in Russia. Moscow's Kremlin is the biggest active medieval fortress in the world. Its territory spans more than 27 hectares, 67 acres. The walls are over 2.5 kilometers, 1.5 miles long. 20 towers are sprinkled across the grounds, each with its own personal name, apart from 2 anonymous towers. Number 13. There's a city in Russia that's even more luxurious than Versailles. Petergolf was created in the first half of 18th century by order of Peter the Great and was supposed to rival the famous Versailles in luxuriousness. 4 gigantic cascades were constructed on site with over 150 fountains. The most remarkable of them is Bolshoi Cascade, which is comprised of 64 fountains and 225 bronze sculptures. Number 14. Some Russians play golf with helicopters. In Moscow's suburbs, you can participate in a curious and unique sport, helicopter golf. The idea of the game is close to traditional golf, although the scale is much bigger. Players guide the 1 meter, 3 feet in diameter ball through the snowy route, using a 10 kilogram, 22-pound stick. All the while, the players drive a helicopter course